Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to our mindfulness practice. It's the holiday time, although I have to say, I moved to Singapore in January, so it's my first Christmas here in a while. I mean, I suppose I did live in Singapore a while, I don't know, 12 years ago. So it's good to be back. It's interesting to see the Christmas decorations. It just doesn't, interestingly, it doesn't feel as festive as it did in Hong Kong. I don't, it doesn't feel. Well, I suppose feel's a good word too, right? It doesn't feel so festive, maybe because the temperature is like summertime temperature. So that's what I'm used to, and it's funny too, talking to some some friends who are Australian, right? It's like like Christmas is hot. Christmas should be hot is kind of the the Australian opinion. So it really has to do with what feels like you know what does something feel like is all based upon a lot of times how you grew up. What was it like when I was young. What do I remember about this holiday and this time of year. So I have a Christmas tree in my house. I think we're neutral. I don't think that we're Christmas is just kind of a tradition, right? Not that it's related to, um, in this house at least, related to any religious belief or anything like that. Just more about holding what's, my family is, right. We're half American, half Hong Kong Chinese. So we try our best to have our children have a little bit of traditional roots in both sides of our culture. So it's that's kind of what it's there for. And as you look back on the history of a Christmas tree anyway, uh, there's nothing about there's nothing about Christianity in erecting a tree inside of your house either. So it's interesting. Um, it's interesting to look back and to see the history of our traditions and to think about where it comes from and to see the diversity of holiday traditions. And that's really what I wanted to make this about this morning or this afternoon or this evening, wherever you happen to be, was just that we all have different traditions. We've got different words we use. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, uh, whatever other holidays show up around here around this time of year. And I like Singapore in particular, and I've mentioned it before, and partly is because of the kind of embracing of different cultural and religious traditions that are here. So I think sometimes that there's this division that even saying Merry Christmas can be offensive to some people, and I think what I really wanted to get at today was just to see if we can be more open and more inquisitive and more curious about other people and other people's cultures, and to see that you know see what we have in common, what brings us together instead of what separates us. During right during Diwali's a Hindu holiday, right? And like you say Happy Diwali to people, right? And if they're not Hindu, it's not a big deal. We get a day off. Diwali's a public holiday here in Singapore, so that's kind of the most recent holiday that we've had. So that's kind of my challenge, as we go into this period, is to be as open and embracing as possible. And it's funny is as I was starting to do a little bit of research for kind of what I was going to talk about this morning. I looked at Happy Holidays. Happy Holidays seems like potentially a more neutral greeting, but then as I looked at it, I saw that even this has become. I guess there's so much in the United States that has some kind of political charge to it, and even Happy Holidays or Merry Christmas. These two things. Happy Hanukkah, all have some kind of something going on that people can argue about, which I smile because I think that these are such benign things that why is it that these have to be something that causes people to be divided? But then again, if you look around and you look at history, you can find that there's so many things that can be divisive for people, and that it seems that we're, it's deep inside that our desire to find a group that we belong to, and maybe to hold tight to it, and to say this is me and this is us and these are them, is just something that we're that came out of millions of years of evolving into a society that creates tall buildings and lives together in small nuclear families instead of larger tribes. That maybe this was a unintended consequence, and as this has gone on, loving kindness and learning to intentionally include others in our thoughts and in our well wishes, especially those that we see dissimilar to ourselves, becomes something that is more and more important as time goes on. And I know that some people, as we do loving kindness practice, you go, well, why would I bring loving kindness to my enemy? Like, that seems hard. This person who seems so unlike me and so against everything that I stand for. In their mind, what they stand for makes sense, no matter how crazy or out of reality it may seem to you. There's some reason, of course, that they believe this. So because it's valid to them, is it possible to try to be understanding of that and use that as a way to bridge that gap, to recognize that common humanity? This person, like me, is a human being and wants some of the same basic things that I want. And I think that, this intentional shifting of attitude to including others, to trying to understand others, might just be, if practiced on a wild scale, the answer to a bunch of the problems in the world. So thanks for listening thus far. I'm going to have a look at the chat here before we get started. Yeah, still nice and festive. This is what's interesting. Joanne is just sharing about what Christmas is like in Australia, and of course, right? But it's all about, I just remember my son saying to me, like, oh, I miss like Hong Kong cold, right? That makes me feel like Christmas, and it's just kind of that, it really is kind of like what it's like when we're growing up. That kind of brings back that kind of nostalgia. So winter in the Netherlands. Yeah, Gene says it was, it was really cold last year, and this year it's going to be, above freezing, it seems, in Chicago. So, and this is it again. It's, solstice tidings. I mean, I think sometimes trying to find something that includes everybody maybe is maybe we miss out, right? Let's not whitewash all of our all of our differences. Instead, is it possible to really honor that truth of what someone else is and believes and does, and their traditions. So That's funny. I didn't know that. Our former president, the former president of the United States, made a big deal of Happy Holidays. Okay. Well, anyway, that's it. It's why I didn't. I don't want to make it a thing, because it shouldn't be. But yeah, I mean, it's funny that these things can become political. New Zealand, yes. Thanks, Joanne. Yes. All right. So our practice today is going to be a loving kindness practice. So this idea of bringing into mind others that are different to us is really what I want to encourage us to do today. So find yourself a comfortable meditation posture. Encourage you to sit up straight and tall. You can allow your eyes to close if that feels comfortable for you, or you can choose a gaze perhaps a few meters in front of you on the floor to allow your eyes to rest upon, not looking at anything, just letting the gaze soften. And noticing that you're breathing. Can you feel your breath moving in and out of your body? The cooler air as we breathe in, the warmer air as we breathe out. As we breathe in, air from outside of us enters the body. Oxygen from the air gets used by the body, gets circulated in the body, becomes a part of you. As you breathe out, carbon dioxide, waste products of metabolism, rejoin the environment. Part of you, what's inside of you, goes outside once again. So as you're breathing, at what point does that external air cease to be external and become a part of you? As you breathe out, at what point does that air that was inside of you, those pieces that were inside of you, what point does it become something that is no longer you? So I would encourage you to investigate that as you begin this practice today. in and out, not losing any awareness of any breath. Each and every breath fully aware, fully present. So as you will see this line of when something ceases to be me and becomes something else, or when this something else ceases to be something else and becomes me, is blurry. There's no definite point at which this happens. And so likewise, everything in the universe is interconnected. The more we investigate, the more we discover there is no us. There is no them. These lines of self and other begin to blur as we investigate. So as we learn to love ourselves, we also naturally will be able to reach out to love others as we discover the similarities we have. This blurring of boundary between me and you. So see if it's possible. Can you bring a feeling of unconditional love towards yourself? Loving yourself exactly as you are in this moment. Without needing to be any different, or better, or more successful. Is it possible to open your heart to yourself, the you that's here right now in this moment? So as challenging as that may be for you, remember that there is no particular feeling you're supposed to have as you do this practice. So you may feel something, you may feel nothing, you may not, you may feel negative feelings. This is practice. It's not something that is meant to happen instantly. Is it possible for you to do your best to love yourself as you are? And if it's helpful, can you bring or feel free to use some phrases? Repeat some phrases to yourself. You can follow along with me if you like. May I be happy and contented. May I be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May I be healthy and whole, to whatever degree is possible. May I be at peace. May I have ease of well-being. May I be happy and contented. May I be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May I be healthy and whole, to whatever degree possible. May I be at peace. May I have ease of well-being. so in this spirit of connection, is it possible for me to bring into mind someone I see as dissimilar to me? Someone who I may not agree with, I may have some difficulty with, maybe even someone I'm going to see during this season. Maybe even a political figure that you find challenging, whose views you don't agree with. See if you can bring that person into mind. And then remember that this person has a body and a mind, just like me. And this person feels emotions, can be hurt, can feel happy, just like me. And this person at times in their life have had moments of joy, of happiness, of fulfillment, of contentment, just like me. And this person has also had times of pain, of sadness, of confusion, of difficulty, just like me. This person has suffered at times in their life, just like I have. And this person wishes to be free from that suffering, to be at peace, just like me. So is it possible for me to reach out to them, no matter how different they may seem to me, and wish them well? So with this person in mind, see if you can bring that same attitude of unconditional love you had for yourself. See if you can embrace this different person as well. And try out these phrases perhaps. So sometimes this is particularly hard, this embracing this person with the same loving kindness. So just see if you can, especially if you find that difficult, can you use these phrases to kind of bridge that gap? So maybe you're imagining that person is here with you right now. May she, he, or they be happy and contented. May she, he, or they be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May she, he, or they be healthy and whole to whatever degree possible. May she, he, or they be at peace. May they have ease of well-being. And so now, feeling free to let go, let this person's image fade from your awareness. Come back to observing the breath. See maybe how the breath has changed. Maybe the breath is a bit more shallow if this was an intense or challenging practice for you. See if you can, while paying attention to the breath, just purposely elongate the breath a little bit. Add a little bit more ease into your body as we begin to draw our practice to its close. So let's close our practice with 3 rings of the bell. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining in this practice with me today. Wow, it's really, really windy out here. It's a little bit chilly. I don't know. Maybe it's as you can see, the camera is wiggling from the wind. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the well wishes. And I wish you all the best during these holidays. Use whatever practices are useful for you. Loving kindness can be useful, especially when meeting those people that might be different from you, or you have difficulty with during this holiday season as well. We covered breath work. At first I would encourage you to keep meditating over the holidays. Keep setting aside a time for you to watch your breath, to become very, very familiar with your breath, so that you can begin to see when things are changing your emotions, when you find that your breath begins to change. And then secondly, using box breathing or some other kind of breathwork technique when you do find yourself in a challenging situation and need to potentially relieve the strong emotions that you're feeling in that time. And then third, maybe looking at what is the root of that difficulty. So a lot of times it is that divide that I have with another person, that the challenging feelings that I have, that when I have some kind of potential conflict. So see, and then can I investigate farther? Like, what is it that is really making me upset about this? Is it truly that person, or is there something inside of me, something that I vehemently try to defend inside of myself for who knows what reason, protecting my own identity, protecting my own beliefs, not wanting to look into the possibility that something else might be true. Is it possible to open our hearts and to open our minds to try to take on the perspective of others? And so this is where the loving kindness practice really shows up. So keep meditating, keep trying. Remember that there are breathwork techniques to help in challenging emotional situations, and also it's possible to see the similarities in others and offer them kindness and compassion. So encourage you to try all of these and remember all of these as you go into this potentially holiday season, right? As I reflect back on Diwali and Hari Raya, right? Like Hindu and Muslim and Buddhist holidays. Like, there are no Hindu, Muslim, and Buddhist holidays in December. So remember that too as you go into this season. So yes. Wishing you all the best. Thank you, Cece, for your donation. Great to be here with you all. Thank you, Jean, for sharing. Lessons have helped so much in noticing what's going on internally, and that really is what I'm hoping for here, because it's helped me a lot too. And I guess that's why I'm here. I've seen what a difference it's made in my own life, and I do hope that you also will be able to start to see what's going on internally, and to notice what's going on inside of you before you let it outside and begin to potentially harm others. Thank you, Micah. Wishing you all the best, everyone. Yes. And Hanukkah is already over. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Take 3 breaths. Thank you, Karen, for your donation. I'll see you guys next year. I'll go ahead and schedule the next one here soon. So at least that'll be on the calendar, and we'll get rolling. So wish you all the best. And let's close our practice the way that we do, by sending out some well wishes to ourselves and sending out well wishes to others. Thanks, Rachel. It's great to see you again. May I be happy and peaceful. May everyone watching, listening, wherever you are, I wish you all happiness and peace. May all human beings on this planet, wherever you are, whatever you're experiencing right now, I wish you all happiness and peace. Okay, of course. Here we go. Here's a holiday wishes from Frank the cat. And do remember, not everybody celebrates holidays in December. Okay. Wish you all the best. Take care. Lots of love.